September the 2nd, 2025. Guys, pretty nice day here. It is 85 degrees. Real feel is 95. But it's such a blessing to not have the very, very high temperatures and that we had a couple of years ago. And a lot of people will never forget that summer. Last year wasn't as bad. And then this year we've had some hot days. I know it, but we did get rain here and there. And we got this cool front, if you want to call it that, in place now. But it's a lot better to have a 95 heat index than a 120, I guarantee you. Anyway, we've got a live stream coming up at 1 p.m. Eastern time from the White House. So this video is not going to be very long. I'm not sure if this is what Trump is going to talk about. But you guys that have watched the live streams last few weeks, one of the key points that Trump talks about, again, one of them, is to end mail-in voting. And I think that would be the final nail in the coffin for the Dems. And it really needs to be because of the way they have done the American people. Now, how important would it be? What you're looking at is a map. It's interactive. I'll put a link to it. And it shows the percentage per state of mail-in votes. Now, I'm not sure, but I think it's because of such a low percentage of mail-in votes. You've got Montana here, that has no numbers. You've got Iowa, and you've got our state here in Mississippi. It's very hard to get them. It's not impossible, especially for the military or for people that are handicapped or unable to travel. But it's very low percentage. Now, Texas is low, 3.3. Louisiana's 5.9. Alabama 5.5, 5.1% for Georgia, Carolina 3.8, South Carolina, North Carolina 5.2. Now Texas 26.8. So we've had some close races, and what we do see in Florida is a lot of lip-hearted judges, haven't we? Trying to fight DeSantis on every move he makes, and just a lot of lying, cheating going on there about certain things. Anyway, it's a high percentage, but again, they're like Texas. You have a lot of air bases, naval bases in Florida too. Okay, so the higher, that means you probably have more deployed, right? But guys, where it really gets serious, if you look at California, it's not quite all the way green, but 80.8% of ballots were cast by mail. Now, if we have time between this and the live feed, or if not right after the live feed, I want to show you a short feed of Gavin Newsom at Politico melting down. There's my huskies fussing. Anyway, 80%. And really the West Coast is the worst because it's so dominated in the cheat factor because of mail-in voting that the people that, and we hear about it all the time, parts of California, they want to separate from the big cities, things like that, in other states too, but 80% of the ballots in California are mail-in. That means 80%, a very high percentage of that could be doubled, tripled. They're still mailing them to dead people in a lot of states. You can read this whole article. And but anyway, that allows tremendous cheating. You remember a couple of years ago when it was a presidential election and a whistleblower came forward. He was a mail driver, drove the big 18-wheelers for the U.S. mail, and they told him to take a ballot, was it from Pennsylvania, down into New York, a whole truckload of mail-in ballots. That's the thing that happens, and then the bad rolls and the cheating, and many of them have the same signature. But when you come up here, guys, Oregon, 99.3% of the ballots are mailed in. Washington, 98.5%. You think you could ever get out of the cheat? Never, ever. And that's why it would be so important, because if Trump declares this, it would be a nationwide agenda for no mail-in voting, unless, again, it would be military or handicapped or something like that. And guys, like I said, this would be the final nail in the coffin. It already looks like there's going to be probably 2 or 3 decades where the Democrats will not have enough votes because of redistricting now. There's other states that have joined in with Texas. Other states have joined in with California too. But this would do it because you get rid of the illegal votes. You take away the cheating of the mail-in votes, and that Gavin Newsom then wouldn't have a chance in hell to get elected. Now, again, you got Colorado over here, 91%. Now, you think New Mexico would have a greater percent of mail-in votes, but they're only at 12%. But you have such a manipulated legal jurisdiction there as far as the way they call the elections, the way they don't call them, the way they delay them, a lot of mail-in votes, a lot of double votes. So they have their own way of keeping the libtards in place. Arizona, 74%, Utah, 91%, Colorado, 91.3%, Nevada, 44.1% mail-in ballots. Why is that? Because that's how they stay in power. Alaska, 14.3% mail-in vote percentage. But again, they are heavily controlled by Democrats in a lot of places. Then Hawaii at 92.5%. And I guess they kind of can get away with it because you got a lot of people that live there temporarily or summertime and a lot of travelers and things like that. I really don't know how it works there. But you guys, you can scan through here. You've got in Virginia, 10.5% mail-in votes. Maryland, 24%. Virginia, 10.5%. Delaware, 6.5%. Pennsylvania, which I have, of course, it is 27.3%. Indiana, 53.7%. And on Michigan, 35%. That upper Michigan, 35%. Then the darkest green is Vermont at 64%. But I'm going to link to the article. You can read more about it. But I hope this gets mentioned in today's broadcast from the White House. If not, there's a lot of pressure for it to get done. Now, we do have some people on both sides that they want to make sure that certain things are not taken out of it, like the military and things like that. Even Republicans are going to have a slight pushback, but Trump doesn't have any problem, guys, with taking care of the military or the handicapped. So again, this would be a wonderful thing as far as taking back our country goes. It's a heads up. Be safe.